After reaching cruising altitude, Brad switches the plane to autopilot and starts talking with the co-pilot about his family. Brad shows him a photo of his daughter on his phone and says, "I love my daughter very much. In this world, we only have each other." On the other hand, the passengers are enjoying the journey, unaware that something very bad is about to happen to them. Both pilots in the cockpit are happy, and the plane is flying normally. Suddenly, the weather worsens and the plane starts shaking slightly. Brad becomes worried because something doesn't feel right. He announces for all passengers to fasten their seat belts and tries to contact the control tower via radio. But due to bad weather, all radios stop working. Suddenly, a powerful lightning strike hits the plane, causing it to shake violently. Brad goes out of the cockpit to check on the passengers. Seeing them safe gives him some relief. But the lights inside the plane start going out, and the plane continues to shake. Brad's head hits the ceiling, and he falls down, injuring his forehead. Seeing this situation, the passengers panic. Brad quickly returns to the cockpit and, along with his co-pilot, tries to control the plane. Due to the bad weather, they can't see anything ahead. Brad says, "We have to bring the plane down. If it takes one more hit, it could be destroyed." They immediately start reducing altitude, and the plane descends rapidly. The passengers inside are terrified. Meanwhile, the police officer guarding Tony drops his phone and unfastens his seat belt to pick it up. An air hostess also unfastens her seat belt to help him. Because the plane is descending rapidly, both of them are thrown upward and hit the ceiling with great force, dying instantly. Eventually, the pilots manage to stabilize the plane. But there isn't much power left. Brad realizes he can't reach an airport, so he plans to crash land the plane into the ocean. But then they spot an island nearby. Brad changes direction and decides to land there. After many difficulties, Brad successfully makes an emergency landing on a road on the island. Luckily, all the passengers survive without injuries. Shortly after, a short circuit occurs at the back of the plane, and Brad realizes there is still a little electricity left. Once everyone gets off the plane, an air hostess informs Brad that the police officer escorting Tony and another air hostess have died. Brad is deeply saddened. Meanwhile, the airline company owner notices that one of his planes has disappeared, and radio contact has been lost. He calls a rescue expert named Scarsdale, who specializes in finding people trapped in dangerous situations. The rescue expert begins his work. On the island, Brad gathers the passengers and explains that they had to land due to an emergency. He reassures them that there is still some power left and asks them not to panic, promising they will leave soon. While checking the plane, Brad realizes that the power is very low and they will need help. Looking at a map, the co-pilot tells Brad that they are stuck on a private island, controlled by dangerous people who don't follow any government. If caught, their lives would be in danger. Brad decides they must contact a rescue team. Since the radio is destroyed, Brad tells the passengers that he and Tony will go to the other side of the island to find a working radio. He makes a bold decision and removes Tony's handcuffs. Brad tells the co-pilot to keep repairing the plane's power system. While he goes to find help, Brad and Tony head into the jungle together. Along the way, Tony thanks Brad for trusting him. Elsewhere, we see a terrorist group on the island learning about the plane. Their leader orders his men to prepare. In the jungle, Tony suddenly disappears, having escaped. Brad continues alone and finds an abandoned factory where he repairs an old telephone and calls the airline's helpline. But the call disconnects. Brad then calls his daughter and tells her to write down his location and deliver it to his office. Suddenly, a man attacks Brad, but Brad manages to knock him out. Soon after, Tony appears, having killed several goons and taken their weapons. Together, they discover that the terrorists kidnap people and kill them even after receiving ransom. Realizing the passengers are in danger, Brad and Tony steal a car and head back. The terrorists capture the passengers and take them to their base. Brad and Tony arrive too late and secretly follow them. Eventually, with the help of a private rescue team sent by the airline owner, a fierce battle takes place. Brad risks his life to distract the terrorists while Tony helps free the passengers. In the end, the passengers are rescued and rushed back to the plane. The terrorists attack again, but Tony kills the gang leader, saving everyone. Brad successfully takes off with the plane. Later, the plane suffers another engine fire, but Brad manages a final emergency landing at a nearby airport. Everyone survives. The passengers applaud Brad for saving their lives. Finally, Brad sits on the plane stairs, calls his daughter, and talks to her with relief. And with this, the story comes to an end. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.